but it causes repeated trauma to the brain. And over years and years of this happening, people can get what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE syndrome. And it's almost like a disease, because with repeated trauma to the brain, and that can lead to memory problems, mood swings, even trouble with movements, and eventually people can develop dementia, like Alzheimer's disease. I got knocked out by Anthony Joshua this past Friday night. And so I want to break this down from a medical perspective. I'm a neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience. And so, you know, what happens is when you get hit in the head with that kind of force, like in boxing, our brain actually moves inside our skull, and it can bump into the skull, which is a firm structure, and cause bruising of the
morning. I can't sleep. My jaw's busted. They wired it up a couple hours ago and it hurts every time I move my mouth. I lost tonight. I gave everything and I still lost. Feels like I let everyone down. I'm not on break.
Jake Paul gets his jaw broken. Not only that, but he gets his lower jaw broken from the right and the left side, so both sides. And not only this, following that, he went through an emergency surgery procedure to get that sorted out, and titanium plates were inserted to help stabilize the case. This will take long to fully heal.
Here's the truth nobody wants to face. Once you get hit like that, really hit, the brain remembers even when the ego pretends it doesn't. All that talk about CTE and long-term damage isn't filler. It's a warning. Trauma stacks over time. And Jake just added a level of damage that doesn't fade away with rest or confidence.
He was going like tie him down and catch him with a good shot and shit like that.
So wait, do you think, curious, because it's a business aspect, but again, I'm still a nigga and I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real. So
6 to 8 months, maybe a year, plates, dental surgery, weight changes, slower reactions. That's just the physical list. Mentally, something changed the moment he admitted heavyweight was a mistake. That one sentence hit harder than any punch, because it sounded like doubt finally finding its voice.
Pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching.
Anthony Joshua showing respect actually made it worse. Respect from the man who broke you isn't comfort, it's confirmation. When AJ said that shot would have dropped real heavyweights, that wasn't praise, that was context. And context is brutal when it exposes how thin the margin always was.
Anthony Joshua sleeping Jake and breaking his jaw in 2 different places, along with breaking his teeth. Javante joined the fun with the rest of the boxing community by throwing a meme on Jake Paul. That was his reaction, as you guys see.
Don't think this ends with recovery photos and motivational captions. Behind the scenes, promoters are recalculating. Opponents are circling. Commissions are watching closely. And there are quiet whispers that not everyone involved even wants a rematch narrative to exist.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome, as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery
You're probably telling yourself this is the comeback arc, the revenge story, the Phoenix moment. But be honest. After seeing those before and after images burned into your head, do you really believe the confidence will land the same? Or will hesitation show up right before the next exchange? Because that half-second pause is where careers disappear.
Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times, 1 by just jabbing in the air, and 2 when he caught him, he moved.
Something else is coming out. You can feel it. Too many reactions don't line up. Too many people are choosing their words carefully. Someone is protecting something. Maybe a contract issue, maybe a medical condition, maybe a decision made weeks ago that explains why this spiraled so fast. When that drops, this entire story flips again.
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and he's getting what he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything. Doesn't do any promotion.
So no, this isn't over. Not even close. Jake Paul didn't just lose a fight. He cracked open a debate boxing can't shut down. While he heals in private and others celebrate in public, the clock is ticking toward the next reveal, the next leak, the next shock. And when it hits, you'll wish you didn't look away.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would...
He didn't just get knocked out. He got erased. Jaw broken, future redirected. And the scariest part is this might be the night Jake Paul's boxing identity quietly died. Confidence can't cheat physics. It can't outrun power. And it couldn't survive what was coming. Not even close.
AJ back. AJ came right back in and swung, but he did move him back.
When this fight was first announced, you said to several media members that initially you weren't down for this fight. You thought it was just a little bit too much too soon, to paraphrase. Did he do better? Did Jake do better than you thought? Result aside, obviously you wanted him to win. You thought, I think by the end, that he was going to win, but did he actually do better than you thought initially?
This wasn't a fight ending. It was a revelation. When Jake hit the canvas and stayed there, that wasn't bad luck or exhaustion. That was the sport screaming the truth back at him. And here's what people aren't ready to say yet. Something went wrong long before the final punch. Something structural, something hidden, and someone in this story is lying.
Doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get, the biggest paycheck of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit.
You felt it when the tone changed. That moment the arena went quiet. Even the commentators hesitated. That's the sound of an illusion collapsing in real time. This wasn't Joshua peaking. This was Jake stepping into a level of violence he was never prepared for. And if you think this ends with a broken jaw, you're already behind. Toughness didn't protect him. It only kept him standing long enough to absorb damage that rewrites careers. You saw the X-rays. You saw the hospital post. What you didn't see was the panic backstage, the speed of the surgery, the moment this stopped looking like a fight injury and started looking like a trauma case. That final right hand didn't just land.